Hello, it's Jill Bretherton from Jill Bretherton Art here again today with a new time-lapse video. And stick around to the end for tips on how to save money when you're buying your art supplies. So we just block in the background. These videos are just to give you some inspiration really if you're thinking of starting oil painting, or you just want to know whether to watch one of my longer real-time demos. Then you can have a quick look at these and see if it's the kind of thing that you'd like to do. This is a blue vase, and I do my burnt sienna background, which is quite a classic background that I quite often do because it's a nice neutral colour for interior design, and it's mostly burnt sienna, and this one tinged with a little bit of Mars black. And the vase is one of my favourite colours at the moment is the phthalo turquoise, which you'll probably notice I mention in a few of my videos. I may well get sick of it, but right now I love it. And I've tinted this with titanium white and a French ultramarine blue. And so we're going to have the shadow on the right hand side of this painting, and we've put the painting just to one side slightly. You don't always have to centre your vase in the middle of the painting, and there's a slight reflection on the surface that the vase is standing on for a little bit of extra interest. And so these videos, they normally take me about half an hour to paint something of this nature and this sort of subject in this style, but this is so speeded up ×2, so that you don't have to endure the full length video if you're just sort of looking out of curiosity. So we've just jumped forward a little bit there and finished blocking in the base, and now adding a bit of sort of mapping out our foliage and where our flowers are going to be situated. Sometimes I will block in the whole of the background before I place my flowers, and sometimes if I want the flowers to if I don't want the flowers to pick up too much of the background, I'll try and leave that blank, and then put the flowers in on plain paper. This paper, as I've said before, is an art paper. It's acid free, so it is archival, and it's a textured. It's like a textured canvas paper. It's quite unusual, but it's really effective. What I like about this paper is I buy packets of 100, which means that I just have plenty, absolutely tons of material for painting and doing demonstrations and practicing. And if I make a mistake, or if there's something I really don't like, which happens occasionally, not so much anymore, but it does still happen occasionally where I'm just not feeling it and I just don't like how it comes out, then, and I want to throw it away. It's not a huge waste. It's just a piece of paper, really. So you can buy them on Amazon. If I remember, I will put a link below. So the leaves in these impressionistic pieces I like to keep fairly loose. Well, I like the whole painting loose, but really they just serve as a frame really for the brightness of the petals and the flowers themselves. Restating darks is really important. They do, especially on this paper. The only drawback about this paper is it does kind of absorb the oil. It makes the paper thicker and tougher, longer lasting, I guess. But it does suck up the oil, especially the first layers. If you do a second coat on these paintings, and I do sometimes, you find that the painting becomes actually quite glossy then. As if the coat underneath is dry when you put the second coat on, it's actually the paper and the oil becomes really glossy, because it's no longer soaking in. It's drying on top of the other painting, and it's really nice actually. It's a really nice shiny. It's almost like you've put a varnish on it. It's really good. So this paper does absorb it. So, and that of course, if you're doing like a dark value, it can slightly dull it. So you do, as you go through the painting, just take another look and think, oh no, I need to restate that dark, or even restate the light. So when you're doing the flowers, as I've said before in other videos, and you know, feel free to watch the real-time videos and paint along with those, you're looking, before you place any petals on the flower, you're looking at the shape, the orientation, and the values and the temperature before you even think about colour or petals or anything like that. So you will find that, you know, you may have a cool side and a warm side. You may find a bluey side and a yellowy side. You have to work all that out and map that into your flower before you place the petals on top, whatever shape those petals are and whatever, you know, they turn out to be. So that's what I'm always doing here. It's a bit like a puzzle, and you're laying the foundations before you can fit the petals on top. The vase here is just, you know, just a pattern vase that's, again, very impressionistic in the time that I have. I do give myself only 30 minutes to do these paintings so that I don't totally bore you. I will do some longer videos where I do actually go into, where I do refine the painting you know, so that it's less loose and free like these, a more classic style of painting, I guess. I will do some longer videos, but at the moment, just to get started, I thought I would do these, because also I think if you're starting out, these paintings aren't very intimidating. You know, they you can watch and you can think, I can do that, and yeah, to be sure, you can do it. So you can, especially following along with these, and you don't need fancy equipment. I use this same brush in every one of these paintings, and you know, I use this paper, and the oil paints are pretty easy to come by. I buy Winsor & Newton, and I'm not paid to say that or anything, I just buy them. And I don't know if they're still doing this, but I had a top cashback, and I don't know if they do this in America, but you probably have something similar, or Australia, or wherever you're watching from, I mean, wherever. We have over here a top cashback site that gives you a discount if you shop through it to Amazon. So I will go on to top cashback, then I will drive through that account to Amazon, and then I can get 10% cashback. But rather cynically, they stopped doing that over the lockdown. So I wasn't able to get any cashback on those purchases. But you know, it's if you're looking for cheap ways of trying to keep the cost down, then you know, do that. I mean, I do sometimes get my art from Hobbycraft, but it really isn't that cheap there. Amazon does tend to be better value. And I did also order from the range, but unfortunately they were really good, but I think they took about 3 weeks to come. So I just wasn't prepared. I hadn't, you know, I was really quite frustrated. I ended up having to buy more paint while I was waiting for that paint to come. It was just too long. I think when you're used to Amazon, although I didn't expect it to come as quickly as Amazon, I didn't expect it to take 3 weeks. So, you know, it was during the lockdown, so there probably were staff issues, but I also think some businesses were in fact using that as a bit of an excuse. So, yeah, it was difficult. But my top advice, if you can still do it, and I haven't ordered any yet, is to open up a cashback account, whatever that is, and then order your supplies through Amazon, which is slightly cheaper anyway than the hobby stores, and you will get then the 10% discount on the total in cashback through your cashback account. If they're still, you know. Anyway, I won't repeat it. But there you go. So I'm adding the petals. Now that I've established the shades underneath, the lights, the darks, the warms, the cools, you know, I can place on my petals on top. And now I'm just going to restate the foliage around, you know, giving some definition in certain parts. And you know, you can use this if you really like detailed paintings and you like to sit back and take your time and really work on a painting. You can still paint to this stage, and then to map out, if you're new, to map out your the framework for your painting, if you like. And then you can just, instead of doing very loose petals like I've done to give an impression of the flower, you can then add your details however you like. But you will still find that painting the base layer, it will be useful for you, and then you can paint your petals on top of that. Oh, they are peonies. Yes, they are peonies because I can tell by the leaves. I was just thinking, what are those leaves I've just done there? But the peony leaves are kind of quite jagged. They're kind of quite spiky looking. So there you go. So, and then you're just refining it after that. You're refining it. You can do some negative painting, which is, so not painting say for instance, let's do negative painting around the vase. You're painting the background, not the vase. So you're crisping up the edges of the vase by painting the background of the around the vase, not the vase itself. Reflections, again, they're just a muted version of the image they're reflecting. Sometimes, depending on the shine of the surface, it can be almost like a mirror image, and then other times it's just a blurred, muted reflection. If you want to soften your petals, you can just use a soft, clean brush and soften them out as I'm doing here. And there we go. So, if you like this video and you want to watch some more, I have plenty more to choose from. There will be some coming up at the end here. But please click the notification bell and subscribe so that you know when my next video is coming. Recommend me to your friends and share, and, come back and see me again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.